New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, good evening to everyone across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and yes, it is guaranteed exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am Reverend Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the super secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in the extremely secure concrete bunker. That is so top secret, only one person. And that is my producer, Diego Reyes. Only he knows where it's located. Everyone else, especially the Reverend Robert Brzezinski, who is our Chief Inspirational Officer here at the New Thought Media Network, he has no clue where the super secret concrete bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. Well, once again, we do have a wonderful show for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments below on Facebook or StreamYard. And again, all my shy people out there, write me an email. Tell me that you're out there, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. So the purpose of our get-together every single week is to get your cup of cocoa, my I believe mug. Get your cup of cocoa. Let's go by the fire and let's have a real talk about what's going on in the world. And I want us to all have a new thought about what's going on and our participation in bringing about a world that does work for everyone. I do believe that the reason that we have incarnated this time is, again, to lead people and to be the light for people to discover their own inner light. So we have a lot of work to do here. So I'm glad you're with us this evening to consider other views. Okay. Diego has been working on this all day long. We had to call up the local amateur radio operators. We had to bring in the satellite truck. I think we have a good transmission now. We have this evening as our special guest, all the way from the North Pole, we have Mrs. Claus. Now, Santa couldn't be with us tonight because, again, he's getting ready and he's talking to kids and getting the sleigh ready and all that stuff. But we have this evening, all the way from the North Pole. And again, Diego, you keep everything together there with the transmission, with the satellite dish and all that other stuff. Keep us to have I think we have a good picture here. Mrs. Claus with us, all the way from the North Pole. Oh, we're going to, there she is. There she is. Well, we're going to talk to her more later on. But again, we had to use a lot of duct tape today to put it together. So Hey, Diego, did you get your year-end bonus from Reverend Robert yet? I didn't in my check this week either. What? Yeah, we're going to have to talk to him about that. Hey, we can't forget about Winston, our staff mascot here at the New Thought Media Network. There he is, our buddy, Winston the pig. He's a great guy. What a wonderful pet. But again, Diego, it was missing from mine, so we may have to make a few phone calls here. You know, Christmas is a week from Sunday, so we're going to have to get on Robert about our year-end bonus, huh? Okay, let's check the news out this evening. Our first story, it comes from the Ukraine. Russian missile attacks have been reported today in multiple Ukrainian cities, including Kiev, knocking out power and water supplies. The latest wave of strikes killed 2 people in central Ukraine and also injured several others, military officials said. And amid Ukraine's continued plans for international assistance, the United States Congress passed a massive defense spending bill on Thursday that included $800 million in support. Our C-cell communities in the Ukraine continue to be safe. We know for them, again, peace in the Ukraine and also in all the other troubled spots in the world, especially the Mideast and also Africa. And may the holiday greeting of peace on earth, goodwill to all men and women become a reality in our lifetime. War is extremely outdated here. When are we going to learn that war solves nothing? Well, of course, we have to have Diego's favorite story, COVID-19. The new defense spending bill also includes a provision that rescinds the U.S. military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Republicans have been lobbying to kill the vaccine requirements for service members, and some leading Democrats have also agreed that it is time for a change in the policy. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy said last week that the end of President Biden's military COVID vaccine mandate is a victory for our military and for common sense. McCarthy also said that Biden himself endorses the move to end the mandate, though White House officials say that that is an overstatement. So we have also read this week in other reports that some of the areas of our country here in the U.S. are requesting that individuals wear masks again indoors because of the uptick in hospitalizations around the country. Please, 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 please honor yourself and others by masking up if requested and getting up to date on your COVID boosters and also flu shot. Another report this week said that by getting vaccinated, we have saved the lives of over 18 million people in this country. 18 million. I asked the question again here, what would love do in this situation? Unless your healthcare provider, your MD, your physician's assistant, your nurse practitioner, unless they have told you otherwise, please go get vaccinated. All right. Also in the news, immigration. The Biden administration has released a 6-pillar plan to address the surge in migrant crossings that it is anticipated after the scheduled end of Title 42 next week. It includes additional resources at the U.S.-Mexico border, highlighting consequences for unlawful entry and also lists steps to improve processing efficiency, bolster nonprofit capacity, targeting people smugglers, and also collaborate with international partners. According to the plan, the increase in resources to the southern border includes the hiring of nearly 1,000 Border Patrol processing coordinators and 2,500 contractors and personnel from government agencies. Expecting thousands of migrants arriving daily, U.S. Customs and Border Protection will impose a legal consequence on those who cross unlawfully and don't have a legal basis to stay in the U.S. The reason that individuals and families are crossing over literal deserts is because they want a better life for themselves. And this is the reason why individuals and families have come to the U.S. for close to over 200 years. I have never said on this program to have open borders. Other spiritual leaders and I are asking that refugees be treated that way, as refugees, in a humane way. And we also encourage economic growth and stability in the countries that these individuals are coming from. Oh, by the way, the New Testament says that Jesus, Mary, and Joseph had to take refuge in Egypt until it was safe to go back home. It amazes me that Christians forget that part of the birth story, especially in this country. So as we get closer to Christmas, Yule, and Hanukkah, here's a story that piqued my interest this week from the Religion News Network. This Advent, churches are urging to assess worship for inadvertent anti-Semitism. I'm not going to read this whole story, but this December, Christian congregations will sing O Come, Emmanuel, and priests will wax poetic about Old Testament prophecies. And as they do so, a group of Christian, Jewish, and Muslim educators is calling on them to examine whether anti-Semitic ideas may be lurking unattended. On Wednesday, the Council of Centers on Jewish-Christian Relations, a group of roughly 30 member institutions, declared in a mutual understanding between Christians and Jews, issuing a public statement calling for U.S. churches to confront the crisis of anti-Semitism. We implore all churches to redouble their efforts to denounce anti-Semitism publicly to the very essence of Christianity itself, the statement said. A professor of religious studies at Iona University in New York told the Religious News Network that O Come, Emmanuel could also be read as hostile to Jewish people. So Israel is captive, and the understanding is they are in exile because of their sin, she said, referring to the first verse, and Jesus is going to appear and solve all of these problems. This professor said that it is unhelpful to think of Judaism as merely a frame for Christianity. When we use darkness versus light, hell versus the Christian Messiah, when we do these zero-sum dualities, we are adding to this polarization. And religious people should be trying to lead the way through this polarization that we find ourselves in. So anti-Semitism must be called out and healed. And when anti-Semitic remarks are made by Kanye West and other celebrities, they must be called out. And as all faiths continue to dialogue about ridding their liturgies of racism and anti-Semitism, we can all live in a world that does work for everyone. Now, who says that we don't have positive news on the Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network? I like this story this week from CNN. Champion adoptive surfer knows the power of resilience. Murrah Nelson is a champion surfer who has known more trauma in her life than most people ever will experience. When she was just 7 years old, her mother died of breast cancer on the day of her mother's funeral. Her father, unable to deal with his own grief, left the family. Tragedy struck again when she was a teenager. A car accident injured her so severely that she was paralyzed and told that she would never walk again. Mira flew from West Samoa to Honolulu for surgery and also physical therapy. The operation was so successful, she gained back her strength in her legs and eventually learned how to walk with canes. Mira also found a new home in Hawaii. The local community embraced her and she began to see a life for herself that she did not see that was possible back in Samoa. So paddling canoes with the Hawaii's adoptive community led her to try surfing. And after her first solo session, she found a new passion. Mira was so happy after catching those first waves that she came home with sore cheeks. I could not stop smiling or even stop talking about it. It's just a feeling of freedom. You're all alone. There are no crutches, but just you and the ocean and sharing the wave with the person next to you. Isn't that wonderful? It's a wonderful story of resilience. It's not what happens to us, it's what we do with it that makes a tremendous difference. So may that story encourage all of us to rise above our circumstances and to live from that greater light that's within us all. 17 minutes and 55 seconds, Diego. Yeah, he's patting me on the back. He's saying, if I go much over 20 minutes, he'll take me off. That's right. All right. Hi there. This is a Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. Boy, do we have a special guest all the way from the North Pole. And again, we spent the afternoon with the technical people, with the satellite people, with even the amateur radio operators. We have a whole row of dishes outside of New Thought Media Network headquarters. I don't know how Diego did it, but he was able to hook up a picture and a video from the North Pole. So here in our second half of the program, we are going to have as our special guest, we are going to have as our special, are you a Martian? Is that how you did it, Diego? He's saying he used Martian technology. I believe that. We're going to be having Mrs. Claus, Mrs. Santa Claus with us all the way from the North Pole here in just a few moments. Wow. Thank you to Robert Brzezinski for, Robert knew some people. I knew some people. We had to get the technical people involved, the technical department at the New Thought Media Network. They're down the hallway, at the end of the hallway to the right-hand side. We keep them in the back so that they don't disturb anyone. But we got them involved today. So Mrs. Santa Claus here in just a few moments. Let's go to some announcements here. Yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit Center for Spiritual Living in Akron, Ohio. For more information, please go to summitcsl.org. There and only there, you will find the information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time in the morning. Yes, people do get up early in the morning to watch our service live. So grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, your boba tea. Please join us. We do have one of the best services in New Thought, I do believe. And this Sunday, we are going to have our annual Christmas holiday service with a special message from our spiritual director, Donna Mangus, and also special holiday music from our musicians. Go on summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call. Please join us. It's a great service, and our service is also simulcast on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page, and also our Facebook page is also past broadcast of the Fireside Chat, and yours truly when he is praying on the New Thought Media Network. A couple of programming notes. On Sunday evening, we will be hopefully streaming our annual Yule log burning from here in Akron, Ohio. Again, all of the holidays around the season is about the bringing back of the light. So we're going to be doing that with our Yule log burning. So we'll be doing that live at around 6:30 Eastern time. So hopefully that we're going to be able to get that all hooked up so that you can see that ceremony online. Also, myself and Reverend Laura Topper will be doing a Hanukkah for everyone this week, starting on Sunday evening. We will be lighting the Hanukkah candles on the menorah, and we will be giving thoughts of a New Thought perspective on the holiday. So join us. A holiday celebration for everyone. Hanukkah for the whole world. And that'll be, again, this week here on the New Thought Media Network. We have so many new programs here coming in 2023. It's really, I would spend the rest of the evening telling you about it. But if you could go online at ntmedia.org, there you will find our schedule and you can see all the wonderful programs here. And again, we are your home for the holidays. I know that some of you, again, that the holiday season, it's not so merry and bright, and we understand that here. So again, that we have wonderful programs, again, to support you, uplift you, to be that family that is healthy. And it's all online too. So again, if you go to ntmedia.org, there you will find our whole schedule. Also, if you could, please consider giving a very generous year-end donation by going to our donate page. We have so many wonderful things that we have planned for next year. And so we would like you to partner with us to get this powerful New Thought message, this powerful message of empowerment and enlightenment to the whole world. So help us out, please. ntmedia.org/donate. All right. So we're going to go to break, and then afterwards, all the way from the North Pole, it is Mrs. Claus. You're watching the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And all the way from the North Pole through a super secret satellite broadcast, here she is as she gets ready for Christmas, Mrs. Santa Claus. Welcome to the New Thought Media Network, Mrs. Claus. How are you? You have to turn your microphone on. Have one of the elves help you.
How's that?
That's good. That's
Well,
good.
You know, up here in the North Pole, technology is, a work in progress. What can I tell you?
Well,
I am so grateful to be here with you, as always.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we spent the day working on this special broadcast. We had to put the antennas in such a certain way, and we had we also used duct tape too. So we we made it happen here. Mrs. Claus, I've always wanted to ask you this. Your husband, again, goes around the world on Christmas Eve delivering gifts to all the boys and girls. What is Santa's favorite cookie?
Okay. There is a very special cookie that was a recipe from Aunt Ruth. And so I called them Aunt Ruth's special cookies. And it's a kind of a butter cookie, but it has peppermint in it. And
wow.
it is, I'll send you the recipe. It's lovely.
Well, I want to make sure. Well, I want to make sure that I, put out the right, like cookies so Santa,
yes.
Some
Absolutely.
good gifts. Now,
and absolutely, don't forget the reindeer. We have to take care of the reindeer.
So make sure that you have carrots for the reindeer also.
Absolutely.
Well, Mrs. Claus, I'm not sure if Santa got my list yet. Okay, so I have
probably gone through page 2.
Okay. Well, I have more than that here. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah. So I just wanted to do a few things. So I want 2 new cameras for the New Thought Media Network.
Okay.
I would like a $25,000 gift certificate for radio equipment at DX Engineering here in town. So all Santa has to do is just put it into a card, okay? And then it doesn't take up much space. But I'll go on over to DX Engineering because they're open the next day, and I'll pick up all my equipment. Let's see. We're also asking for We're also asking for a new microphone and headsets for Diego. All right.
Okay.
And also, we would like carrots for Winston the pig.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm sure the reindeer would share. That's for sure.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Diego, is there anything else that we need to ask for? Again, we have a direct line here. Oh, you would like oh yeah. Diego would like a house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Diego would like a house to that is kind of out in the woods, away from everyone, and also for him and Mercedes, and also for
Winston.
Winston the Wonder Pig.
Yes,
No,
Winston.
yeah. So you know what? Again, yeah, there he is. Oh, our buddy there. So all you have to do with that, Mrs. Claus, is just tell Santa.
I will do that.
All he has to do is just put the key into a card, put the address, and we'll again, it's not going to take cards are not going to take too much space on the sleigh.
That's true.
So yeah, so we would like you to again to send
I'll
that to
see
Santa.
I'll see what I can do.
And Diego and I have been very good boys this year.
I'm sure.
Diego.
I'm sure.
Have we been good this year, Diego? Diego says he may qualify for sainthood. Saint Diego.
Well, I so enjoyed meeting Diego and seeing you again this year. It was such a privilege. And so
okay.
We're all good. We're all good. I'll put that, let Santa know my thoughts as well.
Oh, well, no. Are your thoughts going to be pretty good?
Usually. I have a little pull.
Well, I know that Mrs. Claus, I know that you helped put together the good and bad list. So I really want to make sure that I'm on the good list this year.
Okay. I'll check it twice. I'll check it twice to make sure that you're doing well.
Okay. And for everyone out there,
mm-hmm.
if you would like to see Santa on his trip, go to noradsanta.org.
Yes.
noradsanta.org tracks the sleigh during its trip around the world.
Yes, it does.
The reason it does is because that we don't want Santa being shot down by a missile.
Oh, gosh, no.
No. God. Yeah, we don't want to make you a widow, Mrs. Claus. So,
really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So again, go to noradsanta.org or santanorad.org,
mm-hmm.
and there you get to see. I track Santa all night long, all day long. I make sure that I'm in bed before Santa comes to Ohio. I make sure that I'm in bed and sound asleep, so that again Santa can bring me all kinds of presents. NORAD Santa, there you go.
There you go. That's great.
7 days here. 7
wow.
days.
Wonderful.
So what are you doing, Mrs. Claus, there at the North Pole? How are you preparing to...
Well, Mrs. Santa Claus has a lot of little chores to do and baking cookies, the cookies I was telling you about. And we have a special program, too, that we encourage to people around the world. We call it the Spirit of Christmas. And it is a program where churches bring poinsettias to their church for before Christmas, usually the week before Christmas. And those poinsettias are then delivered to assisted living locations specifically for people who have no family.
Aww.
And so that's what Mrs. Santa Claus will be doing this Sunday here at the North Pole. Yes, it's a program that, just is such a blessing. And so it just touches my heart. That's my favorite part of Christmas.
Now, I know that you know a common friend of ours.
Oh, wow.
Reverend Donna Christine Park. Are you familiar with her? Are you?
Just a little bit. Yes.
You look a lot like her, but she's one of the most beautiful human beings on the face of the earth.
That's lovely. Well,
did you find out what she was doing this year to help out the homeless in her area of Arizona? She
Well,
went ahead and she delivered 4,500 pairs of socks.
it's a little bit more than we've done so far, but we've done about 2,500 just this past Monday.
Okay,
To
2,500.
to homeless locations. We are.
Uh-oh. Diego, you may have to hit the Framistat. You may what? Okay, there you go. Okay, go ahead. Okay, we can't hear you. This is Claus.
All right, do
Okay, all right.
mute. Okay. We delivered just a Dodge Ram truck full of socks. We have been a Bompa's giving partner for several years, and as a result, we deliver to homeless shelters, homeless programs, back to work programs for women and men. We have an LGBTQ program that we share with, and it's just the most gratifying and exciting way to, it's cold, and so many places around the world and around the country, my toes are freezing. I'll have you know.
What?
And so to be able to, trust me, they are cold. But we have had the privilege, just the absolute privilege of delivering socks. And it is said that socks are one of the most requested item of clothing of the homeless. And you can understand why. So then in the right at towards the middle and end of January, we will do what we call Wham's Super Bowl. And that invites people to share soup with pop-top cans so that we can share a gift of a meal to people who are homeless. So we have this wonderful program, Walk a Mile in My Shoes on the Pasta Piece, that engages in just really nice, what's another good word for it? They're just profound opportunities to share and to just bring joy to someone.
Well, Mrs. Claus, could you give Donna Christine's her website there so that
absolutely? Well, we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook, so it's facebook.com/whamsnow, WAMMSNOW. And I would love to see your messages, or she would love to see your messages. And we delight in having the opportunity to serve with you in your community in the near future. That would be wonderful. But in the meantime, may I share my question with your audience, please?
Oh, absolutely, okay. Mrs. Oh, well, hold on here. Just to let everyone know here, this is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Reverend Michael Mangus. We are by the fire this evening through special communication hookup tonight. And it's kind of wobbly, but we're getting there. Diego and our crack staff today, they have put this together. We are talking with from the North Pole. We're talking with Mrs. Santa Claus.
One of my favorite incarnations. among many.
So what do you have to share with us tonight?
Well, you were talking about what you would like for Christmas. And my question is, what will you give for Christmas this year? So this little story that I have here is, with the hustle and bustle of Christmas now pending, Mrs. Santa Claus sits quietly in her easy chair, pondering a question while sipping her tea. She humbly extends a special prayer. In a whisper, she asks, with a curious heart, "What will you give for Christmas this year?" Not that which is purchased from a wallet's release. She wonders as her eyes feel a trickling of tears. What will you give for Christmas this year? Will you smile at a child filled with anticipation and wonder? Will you recall the same wonder as memories of your childhood return? Will you give the gift of time and recognize that this is truly the perfect gift. What will you give for Christmas this year? Will you extend your heart, expecting nothing in return? Will you embrace a stranger with your loving spirit? Will you welcome folks to your heart and home? What will you give for Christmas this year? Will you reconcile with a long-lost family member or friend? Will you share a moment of joy which transcends the miles? Will you hold the spirit of Christmas in your heart all year long? And I ask you that. What will you give for Christmas this year?
Oh, wonderful. Yes, because it's not all the Christmas season, it's not all about getting, it's about giving.
Sharing, exactly.
So we give from our hearts. We find the people in our neighborhoods that, um, especially the people without families, we find them,
Right.
and we share holiday greetings with them, and
Mhm.
also we use this time of year um, also to welcome back the light. Many people that I know
Mhm.
here are not. They're celebrating
Mhm.
the first Christmas without a loved one.
Exactly.
I have friends of mine. Um, we heard of the DJ from Ellen DeGeneres' show,
Mhm.
Twitch,
Which,
who committed suicide this week.
yeah.
It's for a lot of people, it's not a very happy time of year. So, Mrs. Claus,
Mhm.
from your experience with again hundreds, even thousands of years of experience, what do you say to those who are not having a very merry Christmas this year?
My simple suggestion is please be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with you. You know, I have a friend who lost her husband, a dear friend of mine, and we were chatting the other day, and she said she's really struggling. You know, it's really a challenge, and to live without him. And I said to her, I said, you have such precious memories, and to hold on to those memories, but don't let anyone rush you in your grieving process. That is the most horrible, traumatic thing that one can experience. So my prayers for folks who are experiencing, like grief, either recent or even many years ago. Please be gentle with yourself and know that you are loved, beyond measure, truly beyond measure.
And to let people know that uh,
Mm-hmm.
me and also Bonnie Gonzalez, who has a wonderful show called
Mm-hmm.
Your Doula for Grief, which is on Mondays. If you take a look at YouTube and the episode that I did a couple of weeks ago, we talked about holiday grief, and we talked about
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea of that sometimes it is just not safe to go home to family.
Mm-hmm.
And that for some people, especially those people who are in a recovery program, an addiction recovery program, sometimes that their families are very toxic because, again, that they have the
Mm-hmm.
bars open, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing um, assorted drugs and other
Mm-hmm.
things too. So I would say again that understand that, and I'm speaking to everyone here, you have a healthy family here at New Thought Media Network.
Yes, indeed.
We have all kinds of wonderful programs for you coming up here in on starting on Sunday is we are going to have a Hanukkah for all with myself and also Reverend Laura Topper. Again, we'll be celebrating
Mm-hmm.
the the Hanukkah season, the Jewish Festival of Lights. We'll be
Mm-hmm.
celebrating that
Mm-hmm.
for which starts on the evening of the 18th and also ends on the evening of the 26th. Understand that no matter what you are going through, that this season is for you. That the reason why the ancients celebrated Yule was because that on the 21st is the darkest day of the year. So they burn a Yule log in celebration of the return of the light. So I say that to anyone watching this evening is that I know that many people, want you to be all happy of the holiday season, but understand that we are here for you here to make the holidays special. So again, it is the returning of the light. Emmanuel from the New Testament means God is with us. So that's the reason for the season. It's not just the birth of a baby, but it's also the birth and the returning back of the light. So anyhow,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I have a little, just a little, it's a prayer that I use, basically whenever I speak, and it says, may your next step be guided by your dreams. May your every step be motivated by love. May the spirit of Christmas fill your heart throughout the year, and may you know personal peace always. And so it is.
Wow. Well, I have some other questions here. Oh, if you just joined us, this is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. We have this evening all the way from the North Pole. And again, we have Diego had to, with the technical crew today, we had to use miles and miles of cable. We had satellite dishes. We have about 20 satellite dishes out in the field, don't we, Diego? Outside of New Thought Media Network headquarters. Yeah, So what he's trying to do here is he's trying to balance everything out. Now, I know that we only have a few more minutes because Mrs. Claus has some other things to do here. How is Santa doing?
Santa he gets very incredibly motivated, and he loves this season. He loves the opportunity to share and to visit families around the world, and it's really what he loves, and it's who he is. It really is who he is. So he has this special place in his heart for each and every one of you.
Aw. So what toy are the boys and girls asking for this year?
Gosh, I haven't seen a lot of lists this year, so I'm not really privy to that.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's some special things. I guess they're a little far, beyond my 1960 Barbie doll or whatever. But
well, that was very popular.
It was back then. Yes.
That was very popular back then.
Yes. Yes.
I guess a lot of video games and computer stuff. Yeah.
Avatar.
It's really, really expensive.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Just now, again, for all the kids out there, and I've helped out Santa in the past. Okay. Again, Santa will try, but no promises.
Exactly.
Okay? No promises, because you can only load so many toys on the sleigh.
But he does such an amazing job, don't you? The elves are really, really miraculous when you think about it. So,
they are really expert.
They really are. They really are.
So, Mrs. Claus, the last 24 hours before Santa leaves, what is happening there at the North Pole? You are probably cooking him a very good meal before he goes.
Oh, sure. Well, there's so much activity and energy, and it's very exciting, And of course, my work has been more or less completed, and I get to stay home. Someday I'll go out with them, I think. But you get to stay home and just wait for reports of, from all around the world. And as you said, NORAD is a perfect way to follow him in his journey. And then he comes home and just, really, really needs to unwind. That's what I would recommend.
So Santa then goes off to the Caribbean.
Well, you better take me there too.
NORAD.
Don't go there alone.
Okay, noradsanta.org.
There you
That's a
go.
wonderful site
Yes.
to
Yes.
take the kids and grandkids on to track Santa Claus. And I
Yes.
mean, another wonderful way is you can call NORAD Santa. You can call them NORAD. The story about how NORAD, which is the North American Command, they're the folks that keep us safe from nuclear war and all that other stuff. What happened is that one of the in Colorado, one of the newspapers went ahead and put a line for Santa Claus in the newspaper, and it was a special hotline into NORAD's complex. So what happened was, so after that, the commander there, they put together again a group of volunteers who every single year they coordinate with the North Pole. They come up and they do a safety check each and every year of Santa's sleigh. They make sure it's all airworthy and everything else, Santa and so they come up, they make sure everything's okay, and they track Santa on his trip around the world. So again, noradsanta.org, a great way of tracking. Now, Mrs. Claus, do you use that, or do you get any reports while Santa's out there?
Now and again, but I think it's important to keep focused because he's got a lot of stops. He has to be able to, to visit every single house. I certainly don't know how he does it, but I'm very proud of him. He's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I hear that's a secret. That's a top secret.
Exactly, and he doesn't even tell me.
Yeah, wow. So what is the reindeer's favorite food?
Oh, well, they do like the carrots. They really do like the carrots. So when people leave carrots for the reindeer, they are very, and you know what? It continues to motivate them and give them some extra energy for the rest of the trip. So you're doing a great service to Santa and his reindeer. And then, of course, when Santa comes back, he goes on a diet after all those cookies. Yeah.
No, Mrs. Claus, you mean he actually has to, work off the Christmas Eve tummy?
I would think so. Gosh. That's just a thought. I don't know.
Just a thought. Well, listen,
Yes.
Could you tell everyone about, again, your friend Donna Christine Park and her wonderful WAMS program? Could you give that website again?
It's facebook.com/WAMSNOW, WAMMSNOW. And we advocate and facilitate individual empowerment through the sharing, the simplicity of sharing a single pair of gently loved shoes. So we invite people to have shoe drives, and especially after Christmas, perhaps you're getting a new pair of shoes, and you have a pair of shoes that may be able to be shared with a program in your area. And that would be so appreciated. And that's what we do. We do shoe drives and then share locally. When I come to your town, Reverend Donna Christine comes to your town.
Yes, Reverend Donna Christine.
We share locally. We do not take the shoes generated in your community out of your town. They stay local. And, I can say from the 14 and a half years experience that I've had with this program, I'd like to think that we've made a lot of people happy, and in a lot of ways, we've saved people from the cold. In the spring, we do flip-flop drives where we protect people from the heat of the pavement, especially in Arizona, and so it's the whole experience of Walk a Mile in My Shoes on the Path to Peace is a tremendous gift, and my heart definitely acknowledges that and says thank you to everyone who has participated over the years.
Yes, I thought about Donna Christine Park this week. There was a story about a man who was without shoes at all outside of a dollar store,
Okay.
And the clerk went ahead and gave her her shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because again that he had no shoes whatsoever. So
I have a favorite story from Cleveland that, it just touches my heart. One of the first years I was in Cleveland, and we did a tremendous shoe drive. And one of the things that I wanted to do is, I'm also a devotee of Peace Pilgrim. I wanted to go to places that Peace Pilgrim had walked. And so we went down to Public Square in downtown Cleveland. And I walked around the square, and on a bench was sitting a gentleman. And, I walked up, and I think I sat down next to him, and I said, "Sir, how are your shoes?" People, when you stop and ask somebody just out of the blue, "How are your shoes?" they think you're crazy. But I said, "Could you use a different pair of shoes?" And he said yes. And, we opened the bag and let him choose the shoes. And they were, a perfect fit. It was just fabulous. So I don't embarrass them or anything like that. I continued my walk around the square, and I came to the traffic light, and this man was standing, just a little ways away from me. And I turned around and looked at the bench, and he had left the shoes that he took off. So I walked back to those shoes, and when I picked them up, the soles were not even attached. So, literally, Wham's, really saved this man, in a lot of ways. So it was one of my favorite stories.
Mrs. Claus, thank you so very much this evening. Please tell my good friend, Reverend Donna Christine Park, hello, and happy Hanukkah, happy holy days. Thank you so very much, and we're out of time on our satellite, so we're going to have to let you go. And with the elves and Miss, and you tell Santa I said hello, and please check over my list again.
And happy Kwanzaa also, and all of the other fabulous celebrations this season. I love you all. God bless you. See you soon.
Thank you. That was Mrs. Santa Claus, all the way from the North Pole. Isn't that cool? Well, we will be here then next week. We'll have a wonderful show then. I have a wonderful guest here. So again, go to ntmedia.org/donate. Again, please consider a very generous donation for our year-end drive. Again, we are in need of 2 new cameras. We're in need of some other things too, so that we can get ready for the 2023 conference season. So help us out here at ntmedia.org/donate. On behalf of Mrs. Claus and also my producer Diego Reyes, this is Reverend Michael Mangus, and I'm wishing you a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.